news. Ogun State Governor Prince Dapo Abiodun has assured investors that a number of policies and programs have been put in place to remove issues of bureaucratic bottlenecks in government service. Governor Abiodun stated this while receiving the team of Ifen Global Solution Company in his office, Okemoson, Abeokuta. Governor's office correspondent Yusuf Ganiyu reports.
Ifen Global Solution is the umbrella body for 47 companies focusing on agriculture, biotechnology, safety, security, and mining, working together to create comprehensive solutions for cities, regions, and nations. Having realized the fact that Ogun State is the industrial capital of Nigeria, the company team led by the Chief Executive Officer, Edwin Offine, were in the office of the State Governor, Prince Dapo Abiodun, to discuss investment opportunities and ways of tapping into the potentials embedded in the state and the country at large, while taking the investor through the vision of Ishaya Mantra and what the current administration has been able to achieve in creating an enabling environment for investment opportunity. Governor Abiodun said a lot of policies and programs have been put in place to remove issues of bottlenecks associated with working with government.
We are about 4 times the size of Lagos. So land is always a problem here. Our land is like our oil here. So they would naturally come set up their industries here, knowing fully well that they are closer to the seaport. They can bring the raw materials from the sea. They can process the raw materials from here. They can export back from the sea, or they can distribute to the hinterland in the rest of the country. So that's who we are. We are about 16,000 square kilometers, almost about maybe 7 million in population.
The team leader, Edwin Offine, attested to the fact that the Gateway State is indeed the industrial hub of the nation, adding that Offine Global Solution was ready to partner with the state government in order to support the growth of the economy and provide jobs opportunities.
We have been to Comoros, we went to Cameroon, signed multiple agreements there, and we've always wanted to visit Nigeria and see the potential here. This is our first visit for my team. We're extremely impressed with not only the potential of Nigeria, but also the professionalism and the warmth that we have received since coming here. We're now following up with more meetings, and we're arranging how to introduce the remainder of our companies into the Nigerian market so we can make solid plans of how to invest and increase jobs within Nigeria, as well as many opportunities for the youth of the country.
The State Commissioner for Industry, Trade and Investment, Mrs. Kikelo Molunge, lends a voice.
They have chosen Ogun State because they have looked at our track record, what we have on offer, looked at His Excellency's passion for attracting investment into the state. We are particularly keen to work with them to explore opportunities that will enhance import substitution, to work in those sectors where we have a competitive advantage. They have listed quite a few. Enhanced agriculture, they're looking at affordable housing, biotech. There's so many areas that they're looking at that seem potentially very, very lucrative and attractive for us as a state.
She, however, informed that the state government was ready to welcome investors. Yusuf Ganiyu, OGTV News.
The Ogun State Governor, Prince Dapo Abiodun, has called on judicial officers in the country to emulate the sterling qualities of the presiding justice of the Court of Appeal, Kaduna Division, Justice Mojid Wade, who is retiring from active service. Governor Abiodun stated this during the valedictory court session in his honor held at the Court of Appeal, Ibadan. Again, Governor's Office correspondent Yusuf Ganiyu reports.
Honorable Justice Mojid Adekunle Wade was born 70 years ago in Ibadan, attended Ibadan Grammar School in 1964 to 1968 before he proceeded to University of Lagos to study law between 1971 to 1974, having worked selflessly and tirelessly in different capacities, both at the bench and as an academia. Honorable Justice Wade in 1997 was appointed as High Court Judge of Oyo State before he was elevated to the Court of Appeal as the Justice of the Court of Appeal on the 8th of June 2006. It is for this reason dignitaries from all walks of life including Ogun State Governor Prince Dapo Abiodun and Chief Justice of Nigeria, Honorable Justice Olukayode Ariwola, gathered at the Court of Appeal, Ibadan Division, for a valedictory court session to celebrate the retirement and 70th birthday anniversary of Honorable Justice Adekunle Owade. The President, Court of Appeal, Honorable Justice Monica Dogban Mesim, represented by the Presiding Justice of Court of Appeal, Ibadan Division, Honorable Justice Moore Asaimon Adumeyi, says the celebrant has distinguished himself in the law profession.
I heartily congratulate Justice Owade for serving this court generally and this court in particular diligently in various capacities and ways and retiring honorably today.
Governor Abiodun said Justice Owade, who just clocked 70 years, is a man of impeccable character who started from humble beginning to becoming a leading light in the nation's judiciary.
We are very proud of people like this who are defined by competence, by good work ethics, by good character, by discipline. He is also known as the only Nigerian who was invited to contribute to the International Criminal Encyclopedia, among so many other journals that he has published. On behalf of the government and people of Ogun State, we congratulate him once again, we wish him well, and we pray that he continues to remain a moral compass to all those that are coming behind.
Responding, Justice Owade described the Appeal Court as an intermediate court in the nation's judiciary, stressing that the moving of judges from one division to another entails a lot of sacrifice, which should be adequately compensated.
It's indeed a unique court in the hierarchy of the judiciary. It's a court where knowledge is enriched by sharing, temperament moderated by tolerance, and character molded by friendship. Permit me to say that because of Appeal as an intermediate court in the judicial system has and continues to contribute immensely and perhaps immeasurably to the justice delivery system in Nigeria. Necessarily, that is for good reason, the men and women who administer the court have been moved from one part of the country to another.
While stressing the importance of upholding the rule of law in the country, the retired justice called on the federal government to improve on the welfare of judicial officers, especially that of judges, for optimal service delivery. Yusuf Ganiyu, OGTV News.
Ogun State House of Assembly Committee on Public Accounts and Anti-Corruption has decried the inaccuracy discovered in the financial records of the State Printing Corporation for 2020 financial year, stating that such was not a true reflection of the exact expenditures recorded by the corporation in the period under review. The chairman of the committee, Honorable Musafiu Lamidi, disclosed this while leading other members to consider the financial records of the corporation as presented by the Director, Administration and Supplies, Mrs. Abike Akitunde, at the Assembly Complex, Okemoson, Abeokuta. Kolawole Osho's report is presented in this package.
While considering the financial records of the State Printing Corporation for 2020 financial year, the House Committee on Public Accounts and Anti-Corruption, led by Honorable Musafiu Lamidi, directed the management of the corporation to submit more supporting documents on capital expenditures, all cost lines contained in overhead expenditures, aside salary and allowances, as well as policy documents on journals and publications before Tuesday, 25th October 2022.
Policy file on earning from sundry services and sales of journal and publication. I told you that I will be there for 2020.
In another development, the committee considered the financial reports of the State Emergency Management Agency, SEMA, as presented by its director, Mr. Igi Olufolari, with a task to the agency to step up measures towards improving on the proper preparation of payment vouchers and all cost lines details. The lawmakers recommended for the immediate placement of a substantive internal auditor to the agency by the Office of the Accountant General, with a view to ensuring effective evaluation of internal control system within the agency in compliance with Financial Regulations 2022. The committee challenged them to ensure more explicitness of their cost line classifications with the inclusion of detailed explanatory notes in the financial reports of subsequent years by the agency. They further directed the agency to submit more supporting documents to support cost lines including disaster management, local training, maintenance of motor vehicles, and office stationaries before Tuesday, 25th October 2022. In their respective responses, Mrs. Abike Akitunde and Mr. Ige Olufolari assured the committee of ensuring adherence to all administration recommendations pointed out by the lawmakers, while ensuring the timely submission of all documents requested.
And still to come on OGTV News, federal government provides 470 billion naira for upward adjustment. You're still watching OGTV News. The All Progressives Congress presidential candidate Asiwaju Bola Tinubu has promised to run a progressive administration that will enhance security, fight corruption, and transform the economy if elected in next year's poll. He stated this at a retreat for ministers and permanent secretaries in Abuja, which might be the last for President Muhammadu Buhari's administration.
By the grace of Almighty God, we shall persist until terrorists and those like them are utterly removed from the face of our nation. The progress we made in increasing farm productivity while improving the condition of the average farmer were important policy interventions, helping the nation overcome the global supply chain disruptions that threaten our food security. Despite financial headwind, you embarked on an unparalleled expansion of the national infrastructure. Work in the power sector may be slow, but it will show some dividends amidst the increased investors' confidence in this area.
He said the implementation of progressive objectives of the ruling party will strengthen national unity, ensure prosperity, and give Nigerians a sense of national purpose. Tinubu, who applauded President Muhammadu Buhari for his achievements, also promised to build on the legacies of the administration across the sectors. Minister of Works and Housing Babatunde Fashola has confirmed that the construction of the second Niger Bridge has now reached its completion stage. Fashola stated this at a press briefing to present President Muhammadu Buhari's scorecard in Abuja. According to Fashola, the bridge will soon be released to the public for use. The minister noted that the only factor delaying the commissioning of the road is the construction of the link road, which the recent surge of flooding has impeded. The All Progressives Congress APC in Ogun State has withdrawn the suit filed against the Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, the People's Democratic Party, PDP, its former governorship and deputy governorship candidates, Honorable Ladi Adebutu and Honorable Akinladi, who are now aspirants at the Federal High Court, Abeokuta. In a statement issued in Abeokuta on Wednesday and signed by the Publicity Secretary of Ogun APC, Comrade Tunde Olatunjoyi, the party explained that it was seeking the discontinuation of the suit owing to the fact that INEC, who is the first defendant in the suit, has complied with another judgment of the same court by refusing to recognize Adebutu and Akinlade as candidates of PDP. The APC enjoins the people of Ogun State to continue to support the administration of Prince Dapo Abiodun as it delivers dividends of democracy across all sectors in the state. The federal government has provided 470 billion naira special fund in the 2023 budget for university revitalization and upward adjustment of lecturers' salaries. The Minister of Finance, Zainab Ahmed, who made this known at a briefing in Abuja, explained that the sum was specially provided in the allocation to education for upward adjustment of salaries for university lecturers and revitalization of universities. The sum of 300 billion naira is for university revitalization and 170 billion naira for upward adjustments of university lecturers' salaries. According to her, the draft 2023 budget has been prepared on the background of international challenges such as the Russia-Ukraine war and COVID-19 pandemic, adding that revenue generation has been a major challenge to national development in the country. On the allocations for critical sectors, she said the sum of 2.05 trillion naira is allocated to education and 1.58 trillion naira for health. President Muhammadu Buhari has signed the Nigeria Startup Bill into law. The Minister of Communications and Digital Economy, Issa Pantami, announced this on Wednesday after a meeting with the President at Aso Villa. It disclosed that the Startup Bill passed on July 20, 2022, was initiated by the executive arm and seeks to create an enabling environment for tech-based startups in Nigeria. Pantami further revealed that the law, which holds huge benefits for the Nigerian economy, adopted an approach to allow startups to identify business challenges and voice them out. Based on the provisions of the law, the federal government plans to set up a 10 billion naira fund for startups in the country. The information and communications technology sector has so far contributed 18.42% in 2022. The National Homegrown School Feeding Program, aimed at improving the health and academic expectations of the public nursery and primary pupils, has been described as successful in Ogun State. The State Ministry of Special Duties and Intergovernmental Affairs team, led by the Commissioner, Mrs. Olufemi Ilori Oduntan, stated this while monitoring the activities of food vendors assigned to schools in Remo Division. Damilola Odetola's report in this package.
Leading the monitoring team to schools in the Remo axis of Ogun State, the Commissioner for Special Duties and Intergovernmental Affairs, Mrs. Olufemi Ilori Oduntan, said some food vendors during the inspection exercise were fully in compliance with the state government's directives.
We have issues with some cooks, but some cooks are complying. And that's why we are continuing with the monitoring to make sure that all the cooks are complying with what the regulations that have been put down for them.
Stating other reasons behind the monitoring exercise, the Commissioner said other areas that needed to be worked on were observed and noted for urgent action.
Yes, the state government are going to inaugurate a task force that will be monitoring and ensuring that the cooks, what they are being given, they have to make sure that they follow up with what's being given. They make sure that they bring food to the pupils on time.
Some of the schools visited were Wesley Nursery and Primary School, Ogiri Remo, Wesley Nursery and Primary School, Ikperu Remo, St. John's Catholic Nursery and Primary School, Ikperu Remo, among others. Damilola Odetola, OGTV News.
And just coming in, Ogun State Governor Prince Dapo Abiodun has assured that his administration in the next 30 days will commence the payment of monthly stipend to the less privileged across the state. Governor Abiodun, who gave the assurance during a town hall meeting on the 2023-2025 medium-term expenditure framework and budget 2023 in Remo Division in Ogun East Senatorial District, also noted that his administration is working round the clock to improve on the socio-economic development of the state. Governor's Office correspondent Yusuf Ganiyu reports.
The town hall meeting with the people of Remo Division, Ogunyi Central District, is in preparation for the 2023-2025 medium-term expenditure framework and 2023 budgets. Citizens' engagement is therefore crucial to collect input from the people on the ongoing development process as they remain the centerpiece of the focus of growth. Prince Abeokuta said Remo Division is pivotal to its administration development plans, adding that all efforts are geared at ensuring issues of electricity and water projects are critically looked into for further economic growth of the states.
We have continued to implement various interventions, including our social welfare and welfare, are not limited to just our PHCs alone, but our resolve to improve on water supply and also electricity supply. Under our Ogun Light Up project, we are going to start pilot projects in our major cities, namely Ijebu-Ode, Shagamu, Abeokuta, Ilaru, and Abeokuta. We want to ensure that those cities enjoy uninterrupted power supply. This remains our priority now, uninterrupted power supply and the supply of potable water.
He also stressed that his administration is determined to complete all inherited projects of previous administration, considering the economic potentials. The governor also informed that the monthly stipend, which will soon commence for the less privileged, is an intervention to eradicate poverty and empower the women to cushion the effects of the current economic hardship in the country.
We are continuing to empower our women and our youth. We have schemes like the Okowo Dapo, and our partnership with the World Bank on the Nigeria for Women project. We have the Youth Empowerment Scheme, and I want to enjoin our youth because we are currently compiling names of our elderly, our vulnerable, and our youth across the length and breadth of this state. And very soon, we'll begin a program that allows us to directly transfer money into the hands of our poor, vulnerable, elderly, and our youth. This is going to happen in the next 30 days.
The State Commissioner for Budget and Planning, Mr. Olaolu Olabinton, as well as his finance counterpart, Mr. Abeokuta, just said, for Remo Division, Ogun State government has completed more than 95% of projects requested at the last town hall meeting. Yusuf Ganiyu, OGTV News.
That report leads us to a commercial break. We'll be right back.
A peak protein breakfast gets you up to a great day. How do I know? Because my daddy goes through his work feeling good and always with a smile. Mommy is always filled with confidence. My sister is always in tune. And for me, learning new things becomes absolute fun. That's because all day and every day, the peak goes on.
Start your day with a peak protein breakfast. Peak. Reach.
And just coming in is this sad report that the Ekiti State House of Assembly Speaker, Mr. Fuminiyi Afuye, is dead. Afuye, before his demise, represented Ikere Constituency 1. The Speaker, 66, died on Wednesday evening after a brief illness. Afuye was one of the dignitaries that graced the inauguration of Governor Abiodun Oyebanji on Sunday and was reportedly present at a plenary that was held on Tuesday, October 18, 2022. May his soul rest in peace. Moving to other stories now, 26 states have recorded cases of Lassa fever as the disease has spread to 104 local government areas in the country. This is according to the Nigeria Center for Disease Control NCDC situation report for week 40. According to the report, the Lassa fever outbreak has killed 173 people in the country so far this year. The latest report shows an increase in Lassa fever from the previous 933 to 937. Lassa fever is a viral hemorrhagic fever and an acute viral illness. This zoonotic disease has a high morbidity and mortality rate, as well as economic, health, and security implications. Of all the confirmed cases, the NCDC said 71% are from Ondo, representing 33%, followed by Edo State, representing 25%, and Bauchi trailing behind, representing 13%. Minister of Water Resources Sulaiman Adamu has debunked reports which said that Nigeria entered into an agreement with Cameroon to build a dam that will mitigate flooding when water from the Lagdo Dam is released. The minister stated this in Abuja at the Budget Defense with the Senate Committee on Water Resources. He said there is no record of such an agreement, but while the government is in the process of building the Dasen Dam to mitigate flooding from Cameroon's dam, there are engineering concerns. Adamu said Cameroon did not inform Nigeria about the release of water from the Lagdo Dam until 24 hours after it was released. The minister further said the Lagdo Dam contributes only 1% to the flooding in Nigeria, even though sometimes the water is released without notice. According to him, 80% of the floods in parts of Nigeria were as a result of ceaseless rainfalls. The National Emergency Management Agency, NEMA, has handed over additional food and non-food items to Ogun State Emergency Management Agency for onward distribution to flood victims in the state. Receiving the items on behalf of Ogun State Government was the Commissioner for Special Duties and Intergovernmental Affairs, Olufemi Ilori Odunto, as she appreciated the federal government and promised even distribution while calling for more. Damilola Odetola reports.
Ogun State, according to the National Emergency Management Agency, NEMA, is one of the most hit states by flood, and this is why the agency has brought relief materials to put succor to those affected and in the immediate bring them back to life. Some of the relief materials are 1,000 bags of 10 kg maize, beans and rice, 75 bags of 20 kg salt, 7,350 pieces of nylon mats, 1,000 pieces of children's wear, men's wear and women's wear, among others. While handing over the items, the representative of the Director General, National Emergency Management Agency, Dr. Bamdele Abdullahi, said the government is on top of situations like this, and the state should expect more relief materials.
This relief intervention is a testimony that the federal government, through NEMA, is always concerned about the welfare and well-being of the good people of states.
Representing the state's governor, the items were handed over to the Ogun State Commissioner for Special Duties and Intergovernmental Affairs, Mrs. Olufemi Ilori Odunto, at the Agro Services Center, Ashero, Abeokuta, where she gave assurances that the items will be delivered directly to the affected people in the state.
There is already measures that has to be taken. So it's going to be distributed to each local government. So from that local government, it will be distributed to the need.
Goodwill messages from dignitaries present was geared towards appreciating government at all levels for rising up to the task. Damilola Odetola, OGTV News.
To the Nigeria Police, Life Assurance Policy Fund is one of the welfare packages for its officers who are deceased, and another batch of 16 beneficiaries have been presented with over 55 million naira to serve as succor to family members. This was the submission of the Commissioner of Police, Ogun State Command, Lanre Bankole, during the presentation of checks to families of officers who lost their lives while serving. Aderunke Adeyemi covered the check presentation at the police headquarters, Abeokuta, Abeokuta. Her report.
Nigerian police force has always been particular about prioritizing the welfare scheme to alleviate the sufferings being faced by families of police officers who died while in active service. This was further showcased through the presentation of over 55 million naira life assurance checks to 16 next of kin and family members of late officers who died in the line of duty. Commissioner of Police, Ogun State Command, Sipilan Rebankole, says the presentation of life assurance checks is a routine exercise which is usually done in batches and urged family members to put it into good use.
DP has deemed it necessary to ensure that benefits are paid to next of kin of these fallen heroes. Today, we are presenting checks totaling 55,501,935 naira.
Beneficiaries thanked the Nigeria Police Management for the welfare package.
A blessing to me and my siblings, because the demise, that's our mom. She's the breadwinner of the family, so losing her was like losing a big part of her life. So having this, I think we will survive. Not that I think, I know we will survive. With this, I'll make sure we put it into good use.
It's going to help with most, let me say, little difficulties at home, like, you know, basic stuff to make the family stay together and avoid, you know, complicated stuff outside and stuff.
The presentation of this check was part of the Inspector General of Police, IGP Usman Alkali Baba's ongoing welfare scheme for the families of deceased members at Deronke Adiyemi. OGTV News.
It is 36 years today that the co-founder of Newswatch magazine, Dele Giwa, was killed by a parcel bomb in his home in Ikeja, Lagos, while in his study room with Kayode Shoyinka. That was Sunday, October 19, 1986, at the age of 39. Bumi Adigun takes us back the memories of this day in this package.
The incident of October 19, 1986 remains a mystery till today, when the co-founder and editor-in-chief of the defunct Newswatch magazine was killed. It was a Sunday, a Sabbath day, when many people must have gone to church to worship, but someone whose identity till today remains unknown was sent to deliver at his house in Lagos a parcel which was revealed to be a letter bomb. Dele Giwa's death was articulately plotted with a very clear mission of terminating him completely. It was a brutal technology method of assassination and a plan well executed. It was a bomb sent in form of a letter, a form of death that was unprecedented in Nigeria's history. Sumonu Oladele Giwa was born on March 16, 1947, to a family working in the palace of Oba Adesoji Aderemi, the Ooni of Ife. He attended local authority modern school in Lagiri, Ile-Ife, when his father moved to Oduduwa College, Ile-Ife, as a laundryman. He gained admission to that school. Dele Giwa traveled to the United States of America for his higher education and in a BA in English from Brooklyn College in 1977 and enrolled for a graduate program at Fordham University. He worked for the New York Times as a news assistant for 4 years, after which he relocated to Nigeria to work with Daily Times. Dele Giwa and fellow journalists Ray Eku, Dan Agbese, and Yakubu Mohammed founded Newswatch in 1984, and the first edition was distributed on January 28, 1985. A 1989 description of the magazine said it changed the format of print journalism in Nigeria, and it introduced bold, investigative formats to news reporting in Nigeria. However, in the first few months of the administration of General Ibrahim Babangida, who took power in August 1985, it printed his face on the cover 4 times and even criticized anyone who attempted to make life unpleasant for Babangida. Later, the paper took a more hostile view of the Babangida regime. It is 36 years after the incident that led to his death and the rest is now history. But why was the investigative journalist bombed to death? Who really killed Delegiwa? Are many questions left unanswered till now. Bumi Adigun, OGTV News.
From there, we move to business news with Adebola Oshomoji.
Welcome to the business segment of the news. Nigeria's local currency unit is set to weaken further next year as its current exchange rate to the dollar is well above fair value, according to Bank of America. According to a report by Bloomberg, economist Antoga Rusike said in a note to clients on Tuesday that 3 indicators, the widely used black market rate, the central bank's real effective exchange rate, and our own currency fair value analysis shows the naira is 20% overvalued. While the naira will come under increasing pressure due to limited government external borrowing, devaluation is unlikely to happen until after the February 2023 presidential elections, the bank said. Nigerians across 36 states of the Federation paid 1.23 trillion naira in taxes in 2021, a 19.19% increase from the 1.03 trillion naira paid in 2020. This is according to data from the State Internally Generated Revenue Report by the National Bureau of Statistics released recently. According to the data, tax revenues accounted for 66.16% of state IGR, 1.56 trillion naira in 2020 and 64.88% of 1.89 trillion naira in 2021. According to the data, taxes make up of a chunk of state revenues. These taxes included pay-as-you-earn, direct assessment, road taxes, and other taxes paid by residents within a state. The federal government has affirmed that decision by the Organization of Petroleum Exporting Countries, OPEC, to cut 2 million barrels of crude oil production was a unanimous one. The Minister of State for Petroleum Resources, Chief Timbre Silva, said the step was taken to stabilize the market and not for any ulterior motive. In a statement by the minister, the decision taken by OPEC and its allies at a meeting on October 5, 2022, was to voluntarily adjust crude oil production downward by 2 million barrels per day was unanimous. According to him, the action was taken for the exclusive purpose of ensuring the long-term stability of the oil market and also to balance supply and demand and forestall a degeneration of the current volatile oil market to a situation where larger production cuts will be required to balance it. The federal government has expressed concern that more international oil companies operating in Nigeria are going to divest from offshore oil and gas assets due to poor earnings caused by the massive crude oil theft across the country. The government disclosed this through its Nigeria Upstream Petroleum Regulatory Commission at the Energy and Labor Summit of the Petroleum and Natural Gas Senior Staff Association of Nigeria in Abuja. This development, the government noted, will lead to job losses in the oil sector, but called on indigenous oil companies to take advantage of this to recruit professionals and grow in-country capacity. And lastly, on the business segment of the news, the Kaduna State Governor, Malam Nasir El-Rufai, has presented a 2023 draft budget to 370 billion naira to the State House of Assembly. The estimates conformed with his administration's 60/40 ratio of capital to recurrent expenditure, its 8th and final budget, which ends in May 2023. The 2023 appropriation bill has a total size of 370.33 billion naira budget, which is a 21.82% increase from the 2022 revised appropriation of 303.99 billion naira. Given a breakdown of the draft budget, the governor said the sum of 242.21 billion naira is proposed as capital expenditure and 127.7 billion naira as recurrent expenses in the 2023 estimate. The governor said that the 2023 estimate maintains focus on human capital development, adding that the proposal allocates 45.34% of the budget to education and health. And that was business news. Back to Mojisola for the rest of our bulletin.